For all those who got tickets to events at the 2012 Olympics and thus were able to go and view the event, it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Just to be part of the Games was really special. Certainly, the Olympic Park at Stratford was magnificent, and the chance to glimpse a gold medalist made each visit very memorable. But it was the stadium that took the breath away. And at the heart of each event, volunteers in purple and red.
First won the bid, I thought, this is so close to us, you know, we in Essex, we should be able to participate somewhere. At that stage I didn't know how, but I was definitely going to go. 2010 they started doing the tours of Stratford. You could go on a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon, and they had a blue badge guide on the coach explaining, showing you, because most of the structure was built 2 years before, had to be completed a year before because of doing all the trials. And it was during that commentary she said, you are going to be looking for at least 70,000 volunteers, and these volunteers are going to be called Games Makers. I registered and downloaded the questionnaire and sent it off, and it was acknowledged they'd received it. And then April of 2011 I went to the Excel Centre for my initial interview. And then the final bit was going and having this one-to-one. And it was a young lad interviewing me. And as I'd been in market research for 30 years, I felt it really should have been the other way round. But he asked what he had to ask. And then it was left at that. And then it went on for many more months before I heard anything, except I was invited to be one of the people to help at the trials. And so I did Hadley mountain bike experience, and that was 2 days in July, and that gave everybody an idea of just how wonderful it was all going to be. To do the test event, we had to have all 1 day of training and walk the site, etc., etc. Just to do a test event for 5,000 people, and bearing in mind when it was real it was going to be 70,000 at Hadley, and we had 23 countries competing, but it was done as a proper, everything was for real. And at that stage I was with press operations, and that was really interesting because I had to deal with all the reporters and the journalists and the photographers. And of course they want the best shots as the bikes are coming over the rocks where everybody's going to crash and have accidents. So I had a lot of fun in my tent. But once they were all out and about, I was then free to wander around and get the whole atmosphere. The team I was with, we were all put into teams, and we were about 15, and it was, I think, fairly obvious that that team was also going to do the whitewater rafting at Lee Valley, and then nothing. Christmas came and went, and it said everybody would be notified by at least April, and it almost got to beginning of June, and I went away on holiday, and I thought, well, they're not going to want me, and then I came back and I got the email that I was waiting for, and not Hadley mountain bike, and not in press operations, but Horse Guards Parade meeting and greeting. So I was so relieved to get anything, and I thought, well, I've had the experience with the naughty cameramen, I'll go meet and greet people, I'm quite good at that. I thought, oh, well, I don't like purple, I've never been a purple person. I thought, how am I going to wear purple and pink, as it looked? But when we actually saw it, it actually looks quite good. And we had to go through sort of a wardrobe system, you know, where, you know, you choose your size and everything. And she said, now you must try everything on for size, because when you leave here, that's it, there's no going back. What you take with you, we can't change it. They gave us 2 pairs of trousers, 2 shirts, shoes, 2 pairs of socks, jacket, hat, bag, the bag which was the only thing we were allowed to take with us, and we had to have everything in, a water bottle, an umbrella just in case, and it's got just in case on it, I think, yes, the watch, Swatch watch, and the next thing was to go to my actual venue at Horse Guards, and that was on the Monday, and the games were starting that week on the Friday. From day one it was nothing but hype and motivation. Because they wanted this to be the best and made everybody feel that they really were part of something special. But it happened that the minute you walked off a train, there was people there to greet you and direct you.
Good morning, my darling, how are you?
People came from overseas. They had to apply in the same way, so it wasn't, but nobody was screened out. I think they could all apply, and we had a married couple that had paid for themselves to come from the States because they so wanted to be part of it, applied. We had a gentleman who must have been, I would think, in his 70s, I would think at least, who'd had knee surgery, and he was not going to let it put him off. The timing of it just wasn't good, and he was only 6 weeks into recovery, and he turned up every shift with his little seat that he could sit on as and when he could, and marched up and down and looked after people in exactly the same way. And people took a working age who took their summer leave because they had to have time off beforehand to do all the bits and pieces that we had to be involved in, and then the 2 weeks for the games, because they said we're never going to have another opportunity, so we want to be part of it, and we're very happy to give up our holiday to do it.
Everywhere there was entertainment and games makers to help and advise.
Only talking about that big monkey man. He's no liar, he's no liar. Say no, baby, turn in the monkey army. He's no liar. Say no, baby, turn in the monkey. One more time. Aye, 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 aye.
But even as the games makers have a bit of fun, it's the sport that takes centre stage. As we watched and wondered, how did all the visitors view London 2012?
So positive and full of praise. They just couldn't get over what a wonderful job that everybody was doing. We were stricter than even airport in the things that we had to make them, you know, we had lots of fun with making the men take their belts off and holding up trousers and all that sort of banter, and so people brought all sorts of things which we had to stop them taking in, but nobody got funny about it. Never ever was anybody rude or unpleasant. They just all were, I think, so thrilled that they'd got a ticket. And because lots of people wanted their pictures taken with us, so I think I've gone all around the world where people say, oh, can we have a picture with a games maker? We did Mexican waves with them, and because they had to queue up very orderly and wait, because the minute one game was over, they started queuing for the next. So they were very often queuing for about an hour and a half, but everybody did it with such a good attitude.
As a games maker, what is Judy's legacy from 2012?
Making people very aware of how there's so much out there that they can volunteer and help people. That's the continual thing that they've been asking the games makers, is that we can help, we can make a difference. And although I've volunteered for most of my adult life, a lot of people had never volunteered before. And that was a real eye-opener to people, because they just didn't realise there was so much out there that they could do. It's been mainly sport that they've wanted people to get involved in. Anything that's big and current, they have invited games makers to help out, and mainly to enjoy your local clubs and get involved locally and help and encourage youngsters. I think that's what they've wanted to do more than anything.